Hello students, in the previous video we have seen the method of joints. Now in this video I want to discuss the method of sections. Method of joints is an application of analysis of concurrent forces, whereas method of sections is an application of analysis of non-concurrent forces. Method of sections is preferably useful when the forces in few members of a given truss are required. Now let us see the procedure of method of sections. Now as per this method, you are supposed to consider a section line. The section line should satisfy following two conditions. First, the section line should cut the truss in two separate parts. So truss should get into cut into two separate parts by means of that section line. Second, the section line should not cut more than 3 members of a truss. And obviously the section line should pass through that member in which the force is required. So these are the conditions which are to be considered while considering a section line. Now in order to demonstrate the procedure, I am considering a truss over here. So it is the same truss which we considered in method of joints. Now in both the methods, that is method of joints as well as method of sections, the first step is to get the reactions at supports. So get the reactions at supports. Now the load of 100 kilonewton is acting, and we know that the reaction at this end and this end, that is VA is equal to 50 kilonewton and RB is equal to 50 kilonewton. So get the reactions in the first step. Now second step is to consider the section line. Now let a force in CD is required. Now if the force in CD is required, you will have to consider a section line which should pass through CD. At the same time, it should divide the truss into two separate parts, and the section line should not cut more than 3 members also. So in order to get the force in CD, I am considering a section line like this. So section line is cutting the truss into two parts. At the same time, it is cutting 3 members, so the cut members is not exceeding 3. You can consider the section line like this also. So I have considered the section line, and while considering the section line, I have taken care that the given conditions are getting satisfied. Now once the section line is considered, then you will have to consider one of the cut parts. And here I am going to use the fact that if the entire truss is in equilibrium, each and every part of the truss considered separately should also be in equilibrium. So I am going to use this fact. So this is the section line. I am going to consider the right part. You can consider the left part also. So I am considering the right part. So that is why I have shown the right part to that section by means of thick lines, and the left part to the section by means of dotted line. Now consider one of the parts. Then check the cut members. There are 3 members which are getting cut: AC, then CD and BD. Now there are these 3 cut members. Now next point is important. Assume the forces in all the cut members as tensile forces. So I am showing that all the members are considering tensile forces only. And in the previous video, I did discuss with you that arrowheads marked towards one another indicate tension. So if this member is carrying tension, it should be shown by means of the arrowheads marked towards one another. But as I am dealing with the right part, I will be showing the arrowhead in the right part only. So this is the arrowhead which is to be shown for the force in member AC. Same thing should be done for CD, same thing should be done for BD also. So all the cut members are carrying tensile forces. This is what my assumption is. After doing the calculations, if I get the force as positive, it means that my assumption is correct. Whereas if I get the force as negative, it means that my assumption is wrong, and I will have to reverse the direction of that force. So I have assumed the forces in the cut members also. Then let us consider that force in CD is required. Now when the force in CD is required, forget about this member. So always consider the other 2 members or concentrate on the other 2 members. So when I want to get the force in CD, I will be concentrating on the remaining two members. Now check whether the forces in the remaining two members are meeting at any point or not. Yes, they are meeting in point A. So if they are meeting in point A, take the moments about A. So when you take the moment about A, what happens is that moments of these two forces are automatically getting eliminated and only one force will remain. So that is what I am going to do. I will be taking moments about A. So as I take moment about A and equate it to 0, so summation of moment about A is equal to 0 will give us moment of Fs is 0, moment of Fbd is 0. FCD will have moment, so it will be FCD into perpendicular distance, which is 2, 100 into 2, both are clockwise, both are to be considered as positive, minus 50 into 4 will be the equation. And if I solve it, I will be getting FCD as 0, so force in this member is 0. Now with the help of same section line, I can get the forces in AC and BD also. So in case if I want to get the force in BD, let this force is required. So when you require or when you want to find FBD, forget about FBD and concentrate on the remaining two forces. Check whether these two forces are meeting in any point or not. Yes, they are meeting in C. Now as the remaining two forces are meeting in C, I will have to take moment about C. The benefit of taking the moment about C is that these two forces which are not required will be eliminated and there will be this FBD will be in the equation only. So when I take moment about C, the moments will be of this force 50 kilonewton. It is anti-clockwise about C, so minus 50 into 2 plus FBD into 2 because 2 is the vertical height which is shown over there. And if I solve it, I will be getting FBD as 50 kilonewton. Now if I want to get the force in AC, means suppose this force is required. We already have calculated FCD, FBD. Now I want to get FAC. When I want to get FAC, I will not be considering FAC, but I will be concentrating on these two forces. And I will check whether these two forces are meeting in any point or not. Yes, these two forces are meeting in D. So let us take moments about D. And when I take moment about D, there will be these two forces, moment of 100 kilonewton about D. So see, I want to get FAC, so force in AC, moment about D is equal to 0 and it will be FAC cos of 45, its x component because the angle is 45 degrees, FAC cos of 45 into 2, so FAC cos of 45 into 2 minus 50 into 2 which is equal to 0. But again, if I show this force, its x component will be acting like this. So x component is acting towards left, so it is creating negative moment minus FAC cos of 45 into 2 minus RB into 2. So FAC is equal to minus 50 root 2. Now which simply indicates that I am getting a negative value, whereas I have assumed that the force is tensile. By assuming that the force is tensile, if I get negative value, it means that I will have to reverse the direction, means I will have to change the sign and instead of tension, I will have to write compression. So in the first two cases, FCD is 0, FBD I was getting it as positive and as I have assumed that it is tensile, getting the value as positive, it means that it is tensile in nature. So it is tensile but it is compressive. So this is how this method can be used.